Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So it appears that Errol Spence needs a new dancing partner because it looks like Luis Collazo slipped on a banana peel and broke his arm. So he's definitely out of the running to face Errol Spence next. And that's really unfortunate. Well, is it really unfortunate? Did anybody really want to see that fight in the first place? Did anybody feel like Luis Collazo could beat Errol Spence or even give him trouble? Maybe give him trouble for a little bit, but 38, going to slow down, get knocked out. That's how I foresee the fight. That's how I would have foreseen the fight happening. But I went over to the IBF's page to look at their rankings, and I'm just like, man, they got some weak dudes coming up in the rankings, man. By far, they definitely got the weakest contenders out of all the sanctioning bodies. Not even giving any of the other sanctioning bodies credit because they're all crooked anyway. But for the IBF, the number 1 and 2 slot, empty. Number 3 and 4, Carlos Ocampo and Konstantin Ponomarev. I know for sure Konstantin Ponomarev passed up a chance to fight Errol Spence when Spence was fighting in those eliminators, right? So Ponomarev and Ocampo are going to fight for the number 1 and the number 2 spot. And are they going to want to fight Spence? Probably not. The only name I really recognized, well, I can't even say he's like a huge name, but I recognize the name Saddam Ali. I don't know. It's an interesting fight. I mean, Saddam Ali, Errol Spence. Man, I don't know. It's hard for me to justify any of these dudes fighting Spence because, to be honest, Errol Spence should be unifying with either Keith Thurman or Jeff Horn, to be honest. But, sadly, we're probably not going to get to see any of those fights happen. So, I mean, what are we left with? I mean, we're left with Danny Garcia, a guy who just took a loss in his last fight, who probably wouldn't fight Errol Spence next. And then you got Sean Porter. Sean Porter and his father have gone on the record saying that they would never fight for the IBF again because after he lost to Kell Brook, they just dropped him from the IBF rankings, right? And also, Sean Porter has also said that the man to fight and the man to beat at 147 is Keith Thurman. So he has no interest in fighting Errol Spence right now. You see, none of these dudes have any interest in fighting him. None of these dudes are calling him out. Nobody wants to fight him. Of course, Jeff Horn mentions Errol Spence, but he's on the other side of the pond. That's how he's protected. You get what I'm saying? And then you got Terrence Crawford moving up to 147. Most likely he'll be at 147 next year. But he's already called out Keith Thurman. But of course, when he's asked if he would fight Errol Spence, he said yes. That's a future blockbuster down the road. If the fight can get made, of course. Bob Arum and Al Heyman had this outstanding beef, of course. But as far as that fight happening in the next couple of years, I don't see it happening, man. I mean, who else? I mean, Lucas Matisse. I would like to see Errol Spence fight Lucas Matisse. I think that'd be an interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a good fight. But Lucas Matisse is with Golden Boy. I don't know what's up with Oscar and his relationship with Al Heyman. I know he let Amir Khan fight Canelo. He let Chavez fight Canelo. But, I mean, those dudes weren't, like, enormous names. You know what I'm saying? They weren't enormous names. Amir Khan's got a big name in the UK, but not over here in the US. And Chavez Jr., Chavez Jr. is a bum. And he's always going to be a bum. So we're not really checking on him. So, I don't know what's next for Errol Spence. I don't know who he can fight. He's going to be criticized no matter who he fights anyway. But the thing is, these dudes don't want to get into the ring with him. So you got to make do somewhere, right? He's starting to look like the most feared fighter in boxing right now because nobody wants to fight him. Granted, Collazo had an arm or a shoulder injury. It looks like it was broken. But props to him for even wanting to get in the ring with Spence. But, I can go back a couple years ago when he declined to fight Errol Spence. So, all these dudes are ducking. Lamont Peterson ducked him. I'm just telling y'all facts. Nobody wants to fight Errol Spence. You ask Keith Thurman if he wants to fight Errol Spence. You know, y'all all saw the telecast on Showtime when it was Tank, Spence, and Thurman. And they asked Thurman about Spence, and, you know, he started stuttering. I mean, I'm just trying to be nice here, man. He started stuttering, backpedaling, you know, not, oh, yeah, I definitely fight him. You know, no confidence, dog. That's why I don't understand why everybody got all this faith in Keith Thurman. You know, what's going to kill Keith Thurman is the fact that he's super inactive, fighting one time a year. You know, there's only so long that you can fight once a year and continue to fight opponents the caliber that you've been fighting, you know, when you come back. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Porter took a year off. Danny Garcia, shoulder injury, quote unquote. He's going to take another year off. Is he going to fight Lamont Peterson when he comes back? Who's he going to fight? Is it going to be a big name? Is it going to be Sean Porter? Is it going to be a Danny Garcia rematch? Like, those are tough fights back to back to back, you know? Like that, I mean, that's why he's probably he's fighting once a year, taking all that time to heal, but you're going to be rusty, dog. You're going to have all that ring rust. You know, that O's going to be gone soon. Real talk. I don't think you could beat Spence. That's why you don't mention his name. That's why you don't tweet anymore. But who else? I mean, who else could Errol Spence fight at 147? Nobody. No one comes to mind. No one with a name. No one that could be really perceived as a threat. I mean, these dudes, man. 147. I mean, a lot of people might even say, oh, well, Spence should move up to 154. But for what? He's trying to unify the division. But you got a guy who's scared to fight him. And then you got another guy that swore he wants to fight him. But he really don't want that smoke, man. I'm telling you. Boxing today is just... Granted, we're getting good fights, so I can't really complain. We've had some good fights this year, but I think it's a shame what they're doing to Errol Spence. Now wanting to get in the ring with him. And the IBF rankings are so trash. But you know what? Even when he was fighting those eliminators, nobody really wanted to fight him, so they had to keep going to the next opponent, until he got to Kell Brook. At this point, we might as well get a Kell Brook rematch. Oh, I forgot about Amir Khan. He wouldn't fight Errol Spence, man. Y'all let me know. Give me a logical opponent for Errol Spence right now. They could be B-level fighters. That's fine. We might as well go to the B-level fighters because none of the A-level fighters want to fight him. They've gone on record as being shook, to be honest. Y'all let me know. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe. But yeah, Errol Spence, I mean, it's a shame that he's got a belt and he's having such a hard time getting a fight when people's objective for fighting should be to get a belt, right? Well, to make money, of course, but I mean, work your way up in the rankings of whatever sanctioning body you're fighting for so you can get a belt. Keith Thurman should be stripped to winning belts, man. He fighting one time. He's not going to unify the division. He's not going to unify and fight one time a year. They're going to force you to, man. Keith Thurman, man. Why are you holding up everybody's career? Everybody and their mama want to fight Keith Thurman, man. If you listening to this video, you probably could fight Keith Thurman, man. It's too long-winded now. Hitman Boxing, second time doing this. Like the video. Thumb the video up. Hit the bell icon too, so you know when I drop my heat. And subscribe. I'm out.
You niggas steady ignoring greatness. A pallbearer what you need when I come undertaking. This hostile takeover by the chill hover. I got the blueprints, I really do this, so move on over. Stay in your lane, nigga, stay in your lane. You steady running at the guns, but fucking suck at the game. Ain't it a shame? It really is. My words evoke fear. I teach you lessons that'll have you breaking down in tears. Call me Joe Clark with a baseball bat. chaining up the doors, expelling all these niggas from rap. Cause they kill your brain cells, son. How don't you see it? They steady brainwashing you and then repeating, but 'tis the season for chill wage. I bring about change, but not Obama, cause this nation I will never claim. I got my sights aimed at the top spot on the chop block.